All right. Just make sure we're online. Oh, I did not quiet everybody down. That's a problem. You just quiet everybody down. Okay. That's good. Okay, we are ready to roll as far as I can see. So tonight I think we'll get to the Caitanya Caritamrta, and if anyone has any offerings that someone didn't get a chance, we can do that in the beginning. But mainly we're going to continue with our Caitanya Caritamrta classes. And first we'll chant. What are we going to chant? Okay. Jeev Jago. Tomorrow is... When is tomorrow? What is tomorrow? Tomorrow is the first day of Kartik. So during the Kartik time, we will actually chant the Dhammadarashtika together. How about that? Oh, anyway. Here it's not Kartik. And tomorrow is already there in Sydney, but it's not here. Jago, Jeev Jago, Gorachana Pore, Kotanindra, Yaumaya, Visachira Kore, Mahajiva, Madhya say, Samsara Vitare. Uriaro really to me, Abhijarabare. Tomare like Nami, I knew Avatara, Ami Pina Banduara, Keache Tomara. Shodivaya Natsivaralagi Harinama Mantra Raputurimagi Vakati Vinoda Prabhu Jalane Patiya Say Hari Nama Mantra Lila Makia Jeev Jago Gorachana Pole Kotane Durga Maya Visakti Kore Namaho Vishnupaya Vishnapasaya Bhutanai Srimate Bhaktivedanta Rameni Namate Namaste Aspati Deve Gauravani Prajarane Nirasay Chaitanya Bhade Masachari Sajarane Krishna Caitanya Purnijananda Yadvaita Pradana Sila Sati Gaur Bhakta Vrindana Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Haribo Haribo Hare Jaco Haribo Haribo Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parvatacharya all Stotetas Shri Shima His Divine Grace Abhaya Charanada Bhaktivedanta Goswami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shadwaita Gadadha Shivasati Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radhakrishna Gopikapanas Sham Kunda Radhakunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Vrindavanam Ki Jai Mathuram Ki Jai Jagannatha Swami Ki Jai Yamunamai Ki Jai Shrimati Lasi Devi Ki Jai Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Gaur Premananda Hari Hari Bol all glories the assembled devotees, all glories the assembled devotees, all glories the assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Nama Om Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Prastaya Bhutale, Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swamini, Namani Namaste, Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharni, Nivashesha Shunyavadi, Paschacha Deja Tarane. Okay, so Omaganatamidanda Shagaranjana Shalakaya Chakshur Miditam Yena Tasmai Shigave Namaha. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of my spiritual master, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, who so kindly opened my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge while I was blinded in the darkness of ignorance. So before we begin the Caitanya Charitamrta, give the opportunity to a few people to say their homages, which who didn't get, those of who didn't get an opportunity during the last few days. And Sudharma is asking to go first, and she has to go to work. So you can unmute yourself. I give you permission to unmute yourself, and you can speak. You can unmute yourself. Okay.
Hare Krishna Gurudev. Can you hear
Haribo.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Krishna. नमो
Okay.
विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते वीर कृष्णदास गोस्वामी इति नामिने नमः हंस निष्कताय प्रभुपदाय प्रियाय ते श्रीधरदा सिद्धं तस्सवक् निवादिने. Dear Srila Gurudev, please accept our humble obeisances at your lotus feet. All glories to you on the celebration of your appearance day. All glories to your divine lotus feet, which are the only shelter for all the salvation souls. You are like the rising moon, which soothes the burning heat with its cooling rays. Your visit this summer to Sacramento was very heartwarming. There was a lack of enthusiasm due to pandemic. However, your presence has brought us tremendous amount of liveliness in Krishna conscious. You have instructed us to always remain in ISKCON, cooperate and work together. We are insignificant children of yours, and whatever service we may perform is always very little. But we try to please you by our preaching effort and distributing Srila Prabhupada's book. Although we are unqualified, we are sure that by your divine grace we will come to know you. We hope to able to serve you as your humble instruments in spreading Sankirtan movement all over the world. On this most auspicious day, Srila Gurudev, this is our only prayer at your lotus feet. We wish you happy belated Vyas Puja Gurudev, your most insignificant servant Nilachal Das, Sudharma Devi Dasi, Ranjani Devi Dasi, Shukla Devi Dasi, and Ramdut Das.
Jai, Haribol. Yeah, Sudharma is a nurse and she resides in Sacramento, and that's why you see all those different posters behind her. So, thank you very much, Sudharma, and you got to get to work. So, next is Ishwar Chaitanya, and I think it looks like his mother there. So, yes, Lila Shakti can speak a few words. Okay, you got to unmute. Oh, I got to ask you, give you permission to unmute. Okay, you can unmute.
Hare Krishna, Srila Gurudev. Actually,
Haribol.
I was asked to read Kunja Bihari Das's offering, so I just wanted to read
Okay.
that.
Okay.
Can you hear me fine?
I can hear you just well, just fine.
So, happy birthday, Gurudev. Please kindly accept my humble obeisances to your lotus feet and to the lotus feet of your spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada. All glories to your dedication to Srila Prabhupada and to the mission of Sri Krishna Caitanya. I want to start by saying thank you for preserving what Srila Prabhupada has given us and devoting yourself to that. I can only think of what ecstasy there is between Prabhupada and his disciples. So to know that you gave your life in service to Prabhupada and to support your God brothers, God sisters, and disciples is inspiring. Thank you for accepting my mother as one of your disciples. Now there is a good chance she can make it back to Godhead by your mercy. Thank you, Gurudev. Happy Vyasa Puja. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Very nice. Very, very nice. Okay, and that's it? Well, I can't hear you. You're muted again. You're muted. You are. I gave you permission to unmute.
Yeah, now I've got it. I mean, unless you'd like to hear more.
No. No. Do you want to say anything more or no?
I mean, I could go on for days, but I don't think you want to hear it all.
All right. Lila Shakti is the temple president here. She's the boss. And we all work for her, and she's dedicated her life to serving Radha Golokananda. Just really, really dedicated devotee, you know.
Mostly dedicated to serving you, Srila Gurudev. That's actually why I do everything I do.
And she's also a great parent. She raised two Krishna conscious children, and one of whom hopefully next year will be going to the university. Okay, so let's see. Then next we have Adi Dev who wants to speak. Adi Dev, okay, let me give you permission to unmute. Okay, you have permission to unmute now.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Gurudev, can you hear me?
I can hear you fine.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Gurudev, please accept my respectful obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bir Krishna Goswami Niti Namine. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Thank you for the opportunity, Gurudev. I just want to express my sincere gratitude for helping me in my spiritual life and picking me out of this material ocean of material suffering and giving me holy name and giving me Gayatri and giving me the deities to worship them. And I'm eternally grateful for that. And there's no other gift one can receive other than this. And this is the summum bonum of everything that you have given to me. And I wish to just serve you forever by following in your footsteps, because you're following in the footsteps of Srila Prabhupada and all the Goswamis. In the same way, I just want to follow in your footsteps. I'm very much inspired by your sincerity, your dedication, and your punctuality, discipline. And I hope to also follow nicely. So you're always my inspiration in all those aspects of doing practical devotional service. And also you explain things in a very subtle philosophy in a very simple language. It's very easy to understand, even for a beginner like me. And thank you so much, Gurudev, in that you are reading this Chaitanya Caritamrta every day. I feel much closer to you with reading because we take initiation once, but the Siksha is going on. It's a dynamic thing. It always goes on. And you're helping in the Siksha every day. It's like staying with you in Gurukul. So thank you so much for that. And it just keeps me at your feet always, getting Siksha from you regularly. Thank you for that, Gurudev. And all glories to you. Hare Krishna, Gurudev.
Jai. Very nice, Adi Dev. And then I think Adi Guru wants to say something. So I just gave you permission to unmute.
Hare Krishna Gurudev. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bir Krishna Goswami Niti Namine. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Dear Gurudev, wish you a happy Krishna conscious Vyasa Puja and Krishna conscious birthday. Thanks for this opportunity, Gurudev. I would just want to give talk about few words about two major qualities that I every day inspire from you. First one is the compassion, what you have, and the second is the practicality of the real life scenario, like how we should present the Krishna consciousness at this current day and age. I'm really, every moment I inspire based on these two important qualities that you possess, and you inspire us in moving forward, Gurudev. And really, right from the time in Australia and from even today, you guided us in, especially in the major decisions in my life, and giving us shelter and giving us the opportunity, most importantly, to serve Sri Radha Golokananda at our Dham. Very happy, and giving shelter to Nilima as well as Gaurahari. So thank you so much.
Very nice. Thank you. Okay. Hare Krishna. Ashirvad. Very nice. Okay, I think that's it. Isn't that it for the offerings? Then we can go to the Caitanya Charitamrta unless someone else wants to raise their hand or send a message. Because you're all forcibly muted right now unless I give you permission. I think that's it. Well, gotta wait another year. That's good. Now we can get to the nectar of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Okay. So Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra, Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda, Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra, Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda, Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra, Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. So we're on text 207 in the middle of the purport. Let me just page down to where we are in the purport. Here we go. That is exactly where we are in the purport. 207, Madhya Lila, chapter 16, for those of you who are following along. Of course, you can also follow along by watching your screen. And let me just get this ready so I can just check on everything as I'm doing my recitation. Okay, that's good. Okay, that's good. Okay, so as stated in the Chaitanya Bhagavatamsha Kanda, chapter 6, Kana Yuddha Varagachi Aradogachya Gangara Uparakabu. Oh, sorry. Yayena Kuliya, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu passed through Kanayoda, Vadagachi, and Godachya, and then crossed the Ganges before arriving in Kuliya. As stated in the Chaitanya Mangala, Ganga Snana Kari Prabhu Radha Desha Kriya, Krame Krame Utarila Nagara Kuliya, Mayara Vachane Puna Kela Navadvipa, Varakona Gata Nija, Vadira Samhipa. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu walked through Radhadesh and gradually arrived at the Ganges. After bathing in the river, he crossed it and went to Kulia. Because he had promised his mother he would return to Navadvip, he went to Varakona Gata, a village near his house. In the commentary of Prema Dasa, it is said, Nadiyara Makka Kane Sakala Lokete Jane Kulia Pahadapura Name Stana. Everyone knows that in the middle of Nadia is a village named Kulia Pahadapura. Shila, or Sri Narahari Chakravarti, or Ganeshama Das, has written in his Bhakti Ratnakara, Kulia Pahadapura Deka Srinivasa Purve Koladvipa Parvatakya E Prachara. He said, "Oh, Srinivas, just see the town of Kulia Pahadapura, which was previously known as Koladvipa." In the book name, these are all historical documents. And the reason we're reading about this, the reason Prabhupada has actually written about these things, following the footsteps of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, is this actually gives us an historical perspective. Why it's important to have an historical perspective? So it reinforces our faith, when we read that these places are still there, the names have changed, it's modern history. It actually helps us understand this is not a mythological book. Of course, none of the books that we have are mythological books, but particularly when one can relate what they're reading with modern day places, that really helps those who may not. Whoop. Did you want me to go over you to everyone? I think it will if you think it's important. Uh-oh. Just got a message from... Yes, at the end of the class, we'll leave you time. That's going to be 10 minutes before the hour. Okay? 10 minutes before the hour, just beyond. So in the book named Navadvipadam Parikrama, also glorified... Anyway. So the reason we're actually hearing about these things is that it actually helps us develop faith, because when we can actually connect present existing places and modern recorded history, or recorded history that's very close to modern recorded history, because 400 or 500 years ago was actually very close to modern recorded history, it actually helps one understand that one's dealing with reality. Although all the Vaishnava literatures deal with reality, for our conditioned minds, this actually helps us tremendously. Therefore, we can conclude that present-day city of Navadvipa and the places known as Bahira Dvipa, Kolera Ganga, Kola Amara, Kolera Daha, Garakali, etc., were known as Kulia, but the so-called Kuliara Pada is not the original Kulia. Madhavadas Grihe Tata, Sachiranandana, Lakshakoti Loka Katata, Piladhara Shana. When the Lord stayed at the house of Madhavadas, many hundreds of thousands of people came to see him. Madhavadas is identified as follows in the family of Shrikara Tatopadhyaya. Yudhishthira Chattopadhyaya took his birth. Formerly, he and his family members lived in Bilva Grama and Patuli. From there, he went to Kulia Pahadhapura, formerly known as Padapura. The eldest son of Yudhishthira Chattopadhyaya was known as Madhavadas. The second son was called Haridas, and the youngest son was called Krishna Sampati Chattopadhyaya. The three brothers' nicknames were Chakada, Atinakada, and Dukada. The grandson of Madhavadas was named Vamshivadana, and during the time of Srila Bhakti-Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, some of Vamshivadana's descendants, including those of his grandson Ramachandra, were still living at Vagnapada, Vonchi, and other places. Wow. I think the Vamshivadana referred to here is actually the servant of Mother Sachi. Wow. And he was a great liberated soul, because Vamsi means flute. Sometimes I think he's considered to be an incarnation of Krishna's flute. Satadina rahi tata lokanishta rila savaparadi gane prakare tarila. The Lord stayed there for 7 days and delivered all kinds of offenders and sinners. Shantipuracharya grihe aichaya hela shachimata militanra Dukkha Kandhaela. After leaving Kulia, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited the house of Advaitacharya at Shantipura. It was there that the Lord's mother, Sachimata, met him and was thus relieved of her great unhappiness. Wow. Tabi Ramakeli Grame Prabhu Yaichi Gela Natashala Haiti Prabhu Puna Purioela. The Lord then visited the village known as Ramakeli and the place known as Kanai Natsala. From there, he returned to Shantipur. Shantipur, of course, was the place where Advaitacharya lived. And after Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas, the place where he saw Mother Sachi was Shantipur. He never went back to his original house, because actually that is prohibited for a sannyasi. Sannyasi is not supposed to go back to the original village, the original house they lived in. And especially not the original wife. Of course, not original wife, but anyway. And so Vishnu Priya had to lament. And she was only 16 years old when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas. Phew. But she was so attached and faithful to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that she never did anything else other than thought of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And she underwent severe austerities, like only eating as much rice as she chanted Hare Krishna. It's described for each grain of rice. She chanted one mantra. Some people say for each round, but I'm pretty sure it was each grain, because it wouldn't have worked otherwise. Of course, she is a spiritual personality. She's an expansion of Srimati Radharani, so anything is possible. But my understanding is that for each Hare Krishna Maha mantra she chanted, there was a grain of rice. Shantipure punakaila dasha dina vasa Vishtarivani cha yachena Vrindavana dasa. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stayed in Shantipur for 10 days. This has all been described very elaborately by Vrindavan Das Thakur, who is the author of the Chaitanya Bhagavat, and he's considered an incarnation of Srila Vyasadeva. Atevaihan tarana kailun vistara Punarukti haya granta vadaya para. I will not narrate these incidents because they have already been described by Vrindavan Das Thakur. There's no need to repeat the same information, for such repetition would unlimitedly increase the size of this book and also not be the right etiquette. If something is explained nicely by the previous acharyas, there's no need to explain exactly the same thing again, unless one wants to make a commentary on what they said. But simply to repeat their words, that's called plagiarism. And it's not giving respect to the previous acharyas. Tara Madhya Milila Yache Rupa Sanatana Nisringananda Kaila Yache Patera Sajana Sutri Madhya Se Lila Amita Vani Lun Ateva Puna Taha Ihana Liki Lun. Those narrations tell how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met the brothers Rupa and Sanatana and how Nisringananda decorated the road. I've already described these in an earlier synopsis of this book, therefore I will not repeat the narrations here. So Nisringananda, Brahmachari, decorated the road only up to Kanai Natsala, and then he saw the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was not going to go all the way to Vrindavan. Even though he wasn't with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but still he was able to understand this through his meditation on Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's service. This information is given in the Adi Lila, 10th chapter, text 35, and Madhya Lila, 1st chapter, 155, 162, and 175 to 226. Punarapi prabhuhyadi Shatipura Hela Raghunatha Dasahasi Prabhure Milila. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu returned to Shantipura, Raghunath Das came to meet him. Hiranya Govardhan Tvi Saho Dada Saptagrame Bharalaksha Mudrara Ishvara. Two brothers named Hiranya and Govardhan, who were residents of Saptagrama, had an annual income of 1,200,000 rupees. Wow, that's 12 lakhs of rupees. And in those days, that was a lot of money. I tell you, even when I first went to India, there were like 6, sometimes 8 rupees per dollar. Now it's like 60 rupees for each dollar. So things have changed dramatically. And of course, in Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's time, and even in Prabhupada's time, with a few annas, there's like tenths or hundredths of a rupee, you could buy enough rice to feed a family for a week. So there's been massive inflation. Hiranya and Govardhan were inhabitants of Saptagrama in the district of Hooghly. Actually, they were inhabitants not of Saptagrama, but of a nearby village called Krishnapura. They took their birth in a big Kayashta family. 74 rupees per dollar now. Wow. Damn cheap, Babu. They took their birth in a big Kayashta family, and although their family title has not been ascertained, it is known that they came from an aristocratic family. The elder brother's name was Hiranyagop, Maju Modhara, and the younger brother's name was Govardhan, Maju Modhara. Shri Raghunath Das was the son of Govardhan Jai, that's auspicious, Maju Modhara. Their family priest was Balaramacharya, who was the favorite of Haridas Thakur's, and the family's spiritual master was Yadanandana Acharya, a favorite of Vasudeva Datta's. The village of Saptagram is located on the eastern railway from Calcutta to Burdwan. And of course, when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was present there was not a railway station. But Prabhupada is relating it to the present day. And this, of course, helps us connect to that location. Even though things have changed in the location, but we can see that the location is real. Really, it's really helpful for the faith of neophytes. And presently the railway station is called Trishabhuga. In those days, there was a large river there known as the Saraswati, and present-day Trishabhiga is a great port. In 1592, the Patanas invaded, and due to a flooding of the Saraswati River in the year 1632, this great port was partially destroyed. It is said that in the 17th and 18th centuries, Portuguese businessmen used to come aboard their ships. In those days, Saptagrama, situated on the southern side of Bengal, was very rich and popular. The merchants who were the principal residents were called Saptagrama, Suvarna Vaniks, that means Goldman. Suvarna means gold. Su means beautiful, Varna means like color, which is in reference to gold merchants. Just like you have Goldfarb, Goldman, Goldberg, and different words like that that refer to people who have a specific duty, family duty. There were very many rich people there, and Hiranya Majumdara and Govardhana Majumdara belonged to a Kayastha community. They were also very rich, so much so that it is mentioned in this verse that their annual income as landlords amounted to 1,200,000 rupees. In this connection, one may refer to the Adi Lila chapter 11, verse 41, which describes Duranadatta, who also belonged to the Saptagrami Suvarnavanik community, the Goldfarb community. Goldman. So, anyway, this, of course, the Raghunath being referred to here is ultimately was Raghunath Das Goswami, who, in spite of all this wealth, just left it all because he was attached to the service of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and became the most renounced of all the Goswamis, at least externally renounced. They were all renounced. But he was the one who showed the most external renunciation. Even when he was with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he would just eat rejected rice that even the cows wouldn't eat. Just put a little salt on it, wash it with water, and that was his food. Wow! And because he was a pure Nitya Siddha devotee of the Lord, he didn't get sick. If you try that, you will die. Believe me. It's like sometimes we talk to devotees who have some plans to execute austerities during the month of Kartika. And they say, I'm going to execute this austerity just by eating once a day, or by eating like a duck, or eating just, let's say, boiled, unspiced food. And I say, no, do not do that. If you really want to execute austerities, the austerity for this day and age, what? Kali Kalera Dhamma Krishna Nama Sankirtan. Go out and preach, make people devotees. Like if Prabhupada were here, Prabhupada is here, but let's say if you were able to communicate with Prabhupada, and you were going to tell Prabhupada, this is Kartik, I'm going to execute special austerities, this day in the holy Dham to execute austerities, and Prabhupada would say, why don't you preach? What are you doing? Like sometimes during this Chaturmasha period when Prabhupada was present, the devotees would do the austerity of allowing their beards to grow. That was only, of course, the men. The women didn't do that. They didn't allow their beards to grow. So the men would allow their beards to grow, and when Prabhupada saw that, he called it Chatur Mes, not Chaturmas. Chaturmas means the 4 months during the rainy season, and Chaturmes means the four messes. The beard, the mustache, and the 2 sideburns. That's Chaturmes. So Prabhupada appreciated those who spent their energy reaching out or assisting those who are reaching out. Whatever talent someone has. Prabhupada really appreciated that. I mean, if someone could present Prabhupada an offering of Jiva souls, that was the favorite offering for Prabhupada. And anyway, so word to the wise, it's Kartik. dedicate yourself to helping people, engaging people in Krishna consciousness, distributing prasadam. And, we're a public movement and relating with people in general. Don't go to a secluded place and just befool yourself and make your mind your worst enemy and think yourself a very advanced devotee. Don't do it. That wasn't Prabhupada's mood. You can chant some extra, yeah. But the main thing is focus on outreach. How many people can I get to chant? Because, here's an interesting thing. If you get one other person to chant 16 rounds, you get the benefit of chanting your 16 rounds, but their 16 rounds. And if you get 10 other devotees to chant, 10 other people to chant 16 rounds, you are chanting effectively, 176 rounds a day. I know, 10 times 16 is 160 plus your 16. That's 176. You're chanting the average of 176 rounds a day. That beats Haridas Thakur. Yeah. Every day. And on Ekadasi. And if you get 100 people, oh my God. You get oh my God. 100 people is like 1,600 plus 1,616. So anyway, so you're chanting 1,616 rounds a day. Wouldn't that be cool? And you get the benefit. It's like MLM. Anyone's ever heard of MLM? No, none of you have heard about it. MLM means multi-level marketing. So let's say, let me explain what it is, okay? Just so you understand. Multi-level marketing means that you're interested in selling a particular product. Let's say that product is perfume. What a horrible product. Let's say that product is perfume. Then, not only do you sell it, but mainly you're getting other people to sell it. And you get a percentage of their income. And each one of those 10 other people that you get to sell it, gets 10 other people to sell it. And you get a percentage of that second on down the line. And each one of those 10 of the 10 gets another 10. And then there's the 10 of the 10 of the 10. And you get a percentage of that. And it goes on for a while. That's called MLM, multi-level marketing. So Krishna consciousness is meant to be like that. Like if any of people who work with me or associate with me or disciples or godbrothers or whoever can assist me in getting people to chant the holy names, I get the benefit, and they also get the benefit too. So that is what we should be doing during Chaturmasya. That's really important. Mahaishvarya yukta dunhe vadanya brahmanya sarachari satkulina dharmika ganya. Alrighty. Both Aranya and Majumadhara and Govardhana Majumadhara were very opulent and magnanimous. They were well behaved and devoted to Brahminical culture. They belonged to an aristocratic family, and among religionists they were predominant. Nadyavasi Brahmanera Upajivya Praya Artabhumi Gramatiya Karena Sahaya. Practically all the Brahmanas residing in Madhya were dependent on the charity of Govardhan, who gave them money, land, and villages. I'm moving there. Although Navadvip was very opulent and populous during Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's time, practically all the Brahmanas depended on the charity of Haranya and Govardhan. Because the brothers highly respected the Brahmanas, they very liberally gave them money. Nilambara Chakravarti Arajya Dunhara Chakravarti Kare Dunhaya Vratri Vyavahara. Nilambara Chakravarti, the grandfather of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, was very much worshipped by the two brothers, but Nilambara Chakravarti used to treat them as his own brothers. So that's the grandfather of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Misha Purande Darera Purve Karyachena Sevane Otaiva Prabhuvala Jane Dui Jane. Formerly, these two brothers had rendered much service to Mishra Purandara, the father of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because of this, the Lord knew them very well. Shai Govardhana Raputra Raghunatha Dasa Malya Kala Haite Teno Vishaye Udasa. Raghunath Dasa was the son of Govardhan Majud Modhara. From childhood, he was uninterested in material enjoyment. That's a blessing to have a kid who's uninterested in material enjoyment. Sannyasa Kari Prabhu Yabe Shantipura Hela Tabayasi Raghunatha Prabhure Mithila. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu returned to Shantipura and after accepting the renounced order, Raghunath Das met with him. Prabhu Charane Pade Prema Vishtahana Prabhu Pada Sparsha Kaila Koruna Kariya. When Raghunath Das went to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he fell at the Lord's lotus feet in ecstatic love. Showing him mercy, the Lord touched him with his feet. Wow. Tanrapita Sadakare Acharya Sevana Ataiva Acharya Tanre Haila Parashana. Raghunath Das's father Govardhana always rendered much service to Advaita Acharya. Consequently, Advaita Acharya was very pleased with the family. Acharya Prasade Paila Prabhura Uchishta Pata Prabhu Charana Deke Dina Pancha Sata. When Raghunath Das was there, Advaita Acharya favored him by giving him the food remnants left by the Lord. Raghunath Das was thus engaged for 5 or 7 days in rendering service to the Lord's lotus feet. Prabhu Tanre Vidaya Diyat Gela Nilachila Tenongaraya Sihaela Remete Pagala. After bidding farewell to Raghunath Das, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu returned to Jagannath Puri. After returning home, Raghunath Das became mad with ecstatic love. In other words, he was not satisfied with his material life. He just wanted to get away. But his parents, they tried to keep him. They even had to hire guards. Bara bara palaya tenho niladri haite pata tanre bandi rake ani pata haite. And that's what this verse says. Raghunath Das used to run away from home again and again to go to Jagannath Puri, but his father kept binding him and bringing him back. He had guards on him, practically 24 hours a day. Panchapaika tanre la rake ratri dine chari sevaka dui pramana rahe tanra sane. His father even had 5 watchmen guard him day and night. 4 personal servants were employed to look after his comfort, and 2 brahmanas were employed to cook for him. Wow. Ekadasha jana tanre rake nirantara nilachile yaite napaya dukita antara. In this way, 11 people were incessantly keeping Raghunath Das under control. Thus, he could not go to Jagannath Puri, and because of this, he was very, very unhappy. And we will continue tomorrow. We went up to text 230 today. Let me just write this down so I can note it down. And so I did promise Lila Shakti that she could say a few words because she has not spoken yet, and she was very humble about it. And so we will stop sharing and allow Lila Shakti to say a few words. Let me just unmute everybody while we're at it. Hold on a second. I have to move some of these windows around to do that. Okay, Lila Shakti, you can unmute yourself and say a few words.
Hare Krishna Srila Gurudev and assembled Vaishnavas, Vanchakalpa Tarubhishta Kripa Sindhuvevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. This year, or I guess maybe going on the second year, with the situation of having so much regular association with Srila Gurudev has been really just a immeasurably, I'm just feel immeasurably and unbelievably fortunate to have had that, or this opportunity to be in the association and to get instruction and to see firsthand what a pure devotee does, how he conducts himself, how he deals with others, how he moves through the material world, how how he's very responsive to other living entities, and the level of compassion and the level of love that he displays when he is just trying to connect. That's the first and foremost way to bring others to Krishna, and to have 100 other people chanting the Maha Mantra as described to get that benefit, is to just simply connect on a real, authentic, human level. And I've seen it again and again and again and again, and it's extremely inspiring to know that someone cares about living entities so deeply that they choose, it's not a have to, it's a choose to. He's choosing to try and bring them this wonderful gift of Krishna consciousness. So, have them take it, implore them to take it. And as the guru is the localized aspect of Krishna, and when he's doing that with that so much, love, and trying to connect with so much love, it's quite easy to understand how the guru is that representative of Krishna. It's becomes crystal clear. And when you can understand that point, when I've understood that point, and that actually gives me even greater impetus to want to connect with him and to serve him and to you, and to serve, to do whatever you ask, in the service of Srila Prabhupada and in the service of Lord Chaitanya's mission. It gives me greater impetus every single day. And honestly, right now, I'm actually, the reason I'm asking you sometimes if I'm going to die soon is because it seems like it's like unbelievable that so much bliss can be derived every day from that service, and serving you and serving the Dham and the deities and the Vaishnavas. I mean, it seems, it's just not even, I can't, it's like hard to fathom that there's so much that one can, be so internally blissful, and that's going to continue just as much as I would want. And that's why sometimes I wonder if I'm going to leave my body soon, because it seems almost like kind of illegal that it should be that there's this much bliss that could be derived. So just feel a lot of gratitude on a regular daily basis for your association and your guidance and your inspiration, and everything from the morning program and Mangalarti all the way till, now in the evenings, I've been really trying hard to learn the harmonium because you had encouraged me to do that once. And I'm, little by little, just whatever you encourage or whatever you sort of say, I don't take it lightly. I'm actually thinking about it, and I'm trying to absorb it and really put it in my heart so I can do these things, because even if they seem insignificant, I realize that you're only telling me whatever I need to hear for my spiritual advancement and to become a better, or not better, but a more enriched devotee of Krishna. And this year, particularly, I was kind of thinking about, my service and being, serving here and serving out my life here. And then I was just thinking beyond this life, and, I've kind of arrived at the same place. I think that maybe at some point I had heard about, that I would choose to be, if I had to spend the rest of my life or lives or eternity or whatever it is to serve Krishna, who would I want to do that with? Who would I want to be in the association with? And I mean, I can't really say it's with everybody that I meet or that I serve with. I can't really say that in all honesty, but I came to the conclusion that absolutely 100% of the time, I would certainly choose to be in your association and to serve you for life after life after life after life. Because I realize you're serving Srila Prabhupada and his mission, and that's extremely important to me. And so life after life, I am vowing in front of all the Vaishnavas that I am praying to your association forever. So, thank you for everything, Gurudev.
Thank you for serving so nicely and raising your family in Krishna consciousness so nicely. I mean, just the fact that your whole family is completely Krishna conscious, and your son and daughter are just like, really deep, deep, deep Krishna conscious. Your husband, of course. It's amazing. Now you got to make your father-in-law Krishna conscious too.
It's now coming. Prasadam.
We have to become a vegetarian first.
Yeah.
All right. That's very nice. Thank you very much. Okay, so anybody else want to speak before we just take questions about what we talked about today? We just have about 4 or 5 minutes for questions. So if anybody has questions,
Can I speak something?
Rishikesh, okay, yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, Guru, that I missed the Vyas Puja. I had to go out for a neighbor's wedding. It was planned last year. I hate to go, but I just couldn't stop it because the whole family was going. But Gurudev, I really thank you so much for giving the support. Because of you, I'm still in this moment. You gave me the shelter at the right time when I needed the most, and I always remember that. And I really appreciate your kind shelter and your so much compassion. I really experienced it myself. How compassionate you are. I really experienced it. It was not just a theory for me. I really experienced it, and I will try to imbibe the same mood, Gurudev, as you have given, as I have experienced from you. I will just do the same. I'll follow in your footsteps and be compassionate to others for your pleasure. And I'll follow your instruction of, the main, our essence of our movement is preaching. going out and outreach, going out to people and inspire people to chant. I really love, I just take that instruction in my heart, Gurudev. And I will always follow it in your footsteps, as you said, and always meditate on this and what I can do to do this. Thank you so much, Gurudev, for giving me your shelter. And I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Jai, Rishikesh ki Jai. Rishikesh arranges all my train tickets within India.
I'm so glad I had that pastimes with you, Gurudev.
Except one day he arranged the wrong day, and we were in the Mathura train station at 2 o'clock in the morning waiting for a train that was the wrong day with the wrong tickets. I remember that.
It was an adventure.
It was an adventure. And he actually saw how I didn't get angry.
No, it was a nectar, Gurudev. I now I am relishing it.
I didn't get angry. I was too tired to get angry. So, all right. So, very nice. Thank you, Rishikesh. And Madhava, did you want to say something?
Yes, Maharaj. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. The other day there was not enough time. So, first of all, there is Koti Dandavat Pranam to your lotus feet. And it was a wonderful Vyas Puja celebration. And I watched for actually on many days the devotees, your disciples from different parts of the world, and whatever something you have given me the association, I have gotten your associations and learned, those convictions were proven by each and every disciple he spoke. I watched many speaking around the world, and that simply is, as you talk always, Prabhupada talk with science. When things are repeatedly said by somebody, so many people, it means that's the truth. So, I am really so much impressed. So I wanted to say few things which I'm very grateful to you for everything. You have been so kind to us. So I can't pay back. It's impossible to pay you back, but I just wanted to say a few words. And first of all, I would like to see that you in your talk on that Vyas Puja day, you said somebody was talking about great Vaishnava, and you in your talk you started saying that I'm not a Vaishnava, but actually what I have known and you about is Vaishnava is par dukh dukhi, and that is the definition of Vaishnava. And I see that your empathic communications has taken off around the world. I don't see any other devotee speak about this, and it has taken up because you care. That is Vaishnava, because those who have even taken the shelter of actually Mahamantra and doing all this still get difficulty, because we all get impacted by material energy, which is so powerful, and we suffer in spite of taking this process. And you so much care that what is in your mind, what is in your heart, and you simply got this book to write, and so many communications. Even Rompad Swami was so much saying about that, your empathic communication. So many devotees touched upon that. That simply shows that you are a true Vaishnava. There is no doubt, shouldn't be in anyone's mind, because that's who you are. And I see your sadhana perfect. You are traveling, and then you attend Mangal Arti and everything. Your days go so many GBC meeting and all that, very tiring, and but still you never deviate from those sadhana bhakti. That's you just example. You live that every day, and you have been living for all these times. And I see, witnessed by so many around the world. And one thing I wanted to study books. I am very lost the habit of reading, and by your association, we were very much blessed. We studied this Bhagavad Gita completely, nectar of devotion, and then we are going, we are studying the Caitanya Charitamrta. So tremendous, I derived the tremendous benefit and your blessing. I got into this reading and listening and your instructions. And one thing I so much like actually that you always said in your talks many times that actually you are determined to serve your Guru Maharaj the way he served. He never saw him after first meeting for 20 plus some years, but that one meeting took to heart and he prepared lifetime to take his Guru's mission, his words with so much determination. And everybody knows about all that ISKCON all over the world, every town and village. And you always said on the top that you don't care about going to back to Godhead or going to Goloka Vrindavan. You never accepted this. All you always said that you want to serve your Guru Maharaj. That's all. That is what you wanted to do. And that is in the same line of Bhakti Vinod Thakur, who said that I am not interested. I want to remain in this world, even to serve Vaishnavas. I am ready to accept even the position of an insect. So much humility, the same way you also exhibited, saying that you are a real Vaishnava, actually, and by your activities, we all see that. And but you are so humble that's how you say that you are not a Vaishnava. So this incredible impression goes. And as I say, you are so much disciplined. And when you teach, you are determined to do something. You have taken some process. I remember you went to take vaccine, actually, first time to Philadelphia area. You're coming in the night. I was watching lockdown and you felt dizzy. You had not eaten entire day. You're dizzy, but still you kept reading, actually, the books you have taken for our benefit to help us improve our services, our devotion to Krishna, Prabhupada, and all the Vaishnavas. So it's just amazing your determination, your determination to serve your Guru Maharaj, and it is all visible here. We see all this time, and so I can say for a long time, a lot of things to talk about this, as Lila Sakti Mataji said. So much to say about it. I like that the way you are easily accessible, which everybody experienced, that you want many people, as you mentioned in your talk today, that you want many people to chant Mahamantra, take the advantage, and to encourage them, even you entice them that, hey, if you do, you are trying to say that I will benefit. That's not you want to benefit from. Actually, you want to give that everybody benefits, and doing so, you make some adjustment, as Prabhupada did. Very difficult to chant 64 rounds. So very practical Prabhupada was, and same way you following exactly in footstep, actually, that make things easy, where people can take up. Someday they will get taste of it and they can go on with chanting and advancing in their Krishna consciousness. So I see complete parallel, everything Prabhupada was doing to make things easy to people to take up Krishna consciousness, and you're doing that. And again, your austerity of your dress, your food, how much it is, it's so much to talk about this. Everything I see personally, I see you rarely, maybe I'm here barely some Sundays, but whenever, it is so impressive, so practical you are to make things easier for people to take up Krishna consciousness. And always you also, like Prabhupada, everything talk in terms of science. Everything is science. That is, in fact, that's what it is. And it's so impressive. You go. So in all conclusion, I just wanted to briefly touch upon these things, that how much you have taken to serving your Guru Maharaj Srila Prabhupada, and it's amazing. And that's what I wish I could get a little bit, little determination to serve you. It will be tremendous. That's what I hope and pray, that someday, I think and you always helping, but I hope I can advance in that line to get that become serious about those kind of activities. So you are finally, I'm so much grateful to you, Maharaj. You are so kind and to me, and you always say good thing in everybody. So many defects, but you never ever I see you and heard ever from anyone that anything which is not really conducive to advance in bhakti and chanting. So with this, I want to kind of, if somebody else may be looking to speak, but I can go on speaking so much. You are so impressive. So it's hard, and that's what everyone saw over hours and days of offering. So it is truth. He's very convinced. There's nothing to convince any further. So with this, thank you, Maharaj. Dandvat Pranam to your lotus feet. Please keep giving, let your mercy and guidance keep coming to me. I really need tremendous help to advance in my bhakti. I know this is the truth, but I still have not made much progress, and I really probably need most help to be able to advance towards this path of Krishna consciousness. So please bless me, Gurudev. Hare Krishna.
Haribol. Thank you very much, Madhava. And I think we have to end tonight. If anyone else wants to say anything, it'll be tomorrow. So Madhava is just a great devotee, just very dedicated and humble, and been serving Vaishnavas his whole life. I mean, I wish I could be as great a devotee as him. So anyways, we have to end. We'll see everybody tomorrow evening, same time, same station. Thank you very much. All glories to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila